Iran has reportedly placed a new offer on the table as delegations of both the nations met in Geneva for the third round of nuclear talks. Iran's Mehr news agency, citing reports from Geneva, reported that the Iranian delegation submitted a proposal to the United States aimed at addressing Washington's concerns regarding Tehran's nuclear program. The proposal is designed to remove all American doubts related to the nature of Iran's nuclear program. However, here's the catch. As per the proposal, the failure by the White House would confirm Tehran's fears that Washington is not serious about diplomacy. It is to be noted that the exact detail of the proposal was not delivered face-to-face. Instead, it traveled through a diplomatic channel. Iran's Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi handed Tehran's nuclear proposal to Oman's Foreign Minister Sayyed Badr al-Busaidi just hours before the scheduled talks. Iran's official news agency IRNA said the document contained the key elements of a potential agreement. The next move now belongs to the US, which has increased military presence around Iran to pressure it into signing a nuclear deal and giving up its missile program. On February 25th, Israel's Khan News reported, citing an Arab diplomat, that Iran signaled its readiness to sharply reduce uranium enrichment as part of a draft nuclear proposal. The draft seeks lower enrichment from 6% to about 3.6% and suspend enrichment for 7 years, while the US is pressing for at least 10, the report said. Washington is also demanding that Iran's enriched uranium be removed from the country, but Tehran insists it will only downgrade the material inside Iran, leaving a key sticking point unresolved. Meanwhile, it is a deal or face consequence situation for Iran. The US has increased naval presence in the Persian Gulf to directly take on Iran if the talks fall. The US military has assembled the greatest amount of air power in the Middle East since the 2003 invasion of Iraq. Fifth-generation F-35s, F-22 Raptors have been deployed. Just before Geneva talks, US Vice President J.D. Vance said Trump wants to solve it diplomatically. US Secretary of State Marco Rubio said Iran's conventional missiles are one of the major concerns.
Can you explain to the American people why the United States would need to strike Iran to stop them from getting a nuclear weapon if the United States obliterated their enrichment program last summer?
Well, I'm not going to make any news on Iran today, Caitlin. I'll let the president make those announcements. As you know, he is sending 2 of his best negotiators to Geneva tomorrow in order to continue to try to strike the best deal possible for the American people. But the principle is very simple. Iran cannot have a nuclear weapon. If they try to rebuild the nuclear weapon, that causes problems for us. And in fact, we've seen evidence that they have tried to do exactly that. So the president sending those negotiators to try to address that problem, as the president has said repeatedly, he wants to address that problem diplomatically, but of course the president has other options as well.
And the president was very clear last night that he always prefers diplomacy. But I want you to understand, and everyone should know, that Iran poses a very grave threat to the United States and has for a very long time. They are in possession. First and foremost, after their nuclear program was obliterated, they were told not to try to restart it, and here they are. You can see them always trying to rebuild elements of it. They're not enriching right now, but they're trying to get to the point where they ultimately can. The other thing I would point you to, however, is that Iran possesses a very large number of ballistic missiles, particularly short-range ballistic missiles that threaten the United States and our bases in the region and our partners in the region. And all of our bases in the UAE, in Qatar, in Bahrain. And they also possess naval assets that threaten shipping and try to threaten the US Navy. So I want everybody to understand that beyond just the nuclear program, they possess these conventional weapons that are solely designed to attack America and attack Americans if they so choose to do so. These things have to be addressed. The negotiations tomorrow and the talks tomorrow will be largely focused on the nuclear program. And we hope progress can be made, because that's the president's preference, to make progress on the diplomatic front. But it's also important to remember that Iran refuses to talk about the ballistic missiles, to us or to anyone. And that's a big problem. Ever off the table, the president wants diplomatic solutions. He prefers them. He prefers them greatly. He wants that more than anything else. So I wouldn't characterize tomorrow as anything other than the latest in a set of conversations, and hopefully they're productive. But eventually, we'll have to have conversations about more than just the nuclear program. But if you can't even make progress on the nuclear program, it's going to be hard to make progress on the ballistic missiles as well. So I wouldn't characterize tomorrow as anything other than the next opportunity to talk. Well, that's for the president. The president's made no decision on that, so I don't know if Thursday's the key date for that. I think progress needs to be made. It would be good if progress was made on Thursday. And I would say that the Iranian insistence on not discussing ballistic missiles is a big, big problem. I'll leave it at that.
You talked about
Times of India videos, your daily dose of India and the world. Global news, different views, and sharp analysis.
Pressure of expectation from your fans, your supporters.
That has often served as a backdrop for several Bollywood.
you're not a brute majority anymore. If you individually take out Tehran,
Making sense of global conflicts. Tracking the new emerging world order.
strike on Israeli military bases.
A multi-pronged
to stay out of harm's way as Israel started bombing targets across.
Understanding changing alliances in a polarized world. Tune into TOI videos for all this and more. Click on the bell icon to subscribe and never miss an update.